So, what has it been like for you, kind of being thrust into the Star Wars spotlight?
Oh, this has been a dream come true. You know, I grew up watching the Star Wars movies with my brother, but it didn't really go beyond that. I didn't know much more about Star Wars, and now, after working on this for 3 years, I've become a fan. I mean, I'm not just working on the show. I feel like I've become a true Star Wars fan. So to be able to come to these events and just interact with the fans and just to be a part of this universe has honestly been a dream come true.
I mean, like, I'm sure you have tons of little girls looking up to you now, like as Ahsoka. I don't know, I mean, like, how much of that is crossed over into what you actually do? Or, I mean, do they recognize you? Is that something you actually have to deal with or kind of are aware of?
Oh, well, it's kind of funny with voiceover because I've done a lot of on-camera work for the Disney Channel and Nickelodeon, and so a lot of little girls recognize me from that, so Raven. But with Star Wars fans, it's different because they don't recognize my face, but I pretty much use my own voice for Ahsoka. So, you know, I'll walk up to a kid and I'll be like, you know, hey, Sky Girl, how you doing? And you can see their eyes, like, get wide. It's like, oh, wait, that sounds like Ahsoka. So they have a hard time sometimes understanding that I'm the voice, but I don't look like Ahsoka, and it's actually been fun because it's such a great character for girls, and I don't think little girls have too many like positive characters like this that, you know, shows that girls can be tough too, girls can be a Jedi too, and so it's been a fun character to play, and it's been fun to interact with the fans.
As far as the character, like, where I mean, as far as you can actually say so, I mean, like, what kinds of places are you taking or on the stuff you guys are working now? Like, I mean, it looks like it's getting, I mean, obviously it's going to have to get a little darker, and she's going to have to disappear somehow.
You know, it does get a little darker at times, and Ahsoka, actually, she grows up, you know, as in every storyline. I know the fans in the beginning, you know, they felt that she was a little young, a little immature, but that's part of the process. Ahsoka is going to grow over this series and become more and more mature, and definitely in Season 2, she becomes one tough little cookie. So I wouldn't necessarily say she becomes darker, but she becomes tougher. I mean, she is one tough spitfire of a padawan.
One thing I've noticed in the show, and I don't know if but it seems like Anakin treats Ahsoka the way he wanted to be treated as a padawan, and maybe that's probably not the best way. I mean, like, when you actually come into the character, I mean, do you actually discuss and think about things like that, or?
You know, Ahsoka becomes more like Anakin as the series goes on, and I don't think it's really talked about or discussed, but definitely in Season 2 she takes on some of his fighting style, and she definitely takes on more of his spontaneous personality. And actually in Season 2 in particular, you're going to see that with her interactions with other Jedi and other characters, I guess I should say.
Bounty hunters.
We'll see, but when Anakin's not around, because Anakin and Ahsoka, in some episodes they're separated in Season 2, and you really see Anakin in Ahsoka when she's by herself, and you see his influence on her. So they become really close.
What's your favorite episode that you've worked on so far that you can talk about?
My favorite episode so far is probably Cloak of Darkness. It was with ventress and Luminara, and I mean, it just really showed, you know, that girls can kick butt too, I guess. I mean, it was really impressive, I think, to have that many powerful female characters, you know, just really rising to the occasion and, you know, and taking charge. So that was one of my favorite episodes, I think.
Yeah. Aside from Ahsoka, what's your favorite Star Wars character?
You know, I have a soft spot for R2-D2. I don't think I even used it once in Season 2. Ahsoka called him R2-y, but I just have a soft spot for him. And also, somebody gave me a present. It's little Rod of the Hutt, Stinky. I have his Ahsoka's backpack, my backpack, with stuffed Stinky in it, and I took him with me to Disney Star Wars weekends, and he got his own Mickey ears, and he went with me every single day. Like, I walked around the parks with him. So I would say between Stinky and R2-D2, I love those two guys.
How have things evolved as far as, like, the production of the show on your end since the beginning, and how did you come into it? Like, what were your expectations coming in, and how has it changed?
Well, season 2 has definitely raised the bar. It is bigger, brighter, better in all aspects. I really think some episodes will have raised the bar so much you're not even going to recognize them. You're going to be like, is this the same show? You know, we've been working on this now for, oh dear, well over 3 years, almost 4 years. And we've had time to develop and time to improve, and in all aspects. You're going to see it from the animation to the writing to the acting to everything. I mean, I just think it's going to look like a better and better show every episode. So I feel like we've really stepped it up and really changed the mold for what television animation should look like.
And how did you get involved in the show in the first place?
I auditioned for it just like every other show. I got a call from my agent, and he just said, hey, they're doing a new Star Wars cartoon. We want you to go in and audition for Padme. And I told him, I was like, look, I just don't really think my voice sounds like Padme, but I'll give it a shot. And sure enough, the first line out of my mouth, they stop me and they say, you don't look, you know, not look, they go, your voice sounds too high for Padme. And they're like, but there's this new character we want you to read for. Next thing I know, I get a call back. Next thing I know, I find out I've booked this new character, but I didn't know who. I go into my first day of work and I find out that I'm playing Ahsoka Tano, and you know, she's brand new. She's Anakin's padawan. So,
what did they show you? Did they have like drawings and everything ready, like right from the get-go, or?
They just had one drawing. That's all we could see. I think we had worked on it for at least a year before I ever saw any footage at all. And the footage that I got to see was very, very raw. I mean, we really, when I saw the movie at the premiere was the first time I had ever seen the movie. So I had no idea actually how tough she was.